So to start off, I'm going to be finishing up a library that I was published in NuGet that I was doing, and I'm just going to pull it up. Not the Markdown package, but let's see here if I can sign in. Guess it wasn't on my screen, so there we go. The library, gotta get my pen. The library is a Markdown converter for C# objects. OpenAI's AI has been trained to understand Markdown better than any other really data format. So you take things like why don't I know my pen? It's not the account I want. Sorry, I'm just signing it off screen really quick. There we go. Markdown library. So we're gonna be switching over how the library does Markdown transformation. So we take an object, you serialize it to Markdown in a helpful way so that you can pass it to AI. And we're going to have also a little prompt object in there, some tests, and all of that. So let's go to my packages. And then I'm going to share this. So what we're doing today is a little bit of NuGet package management. And we're going to call it Markdown NuGet package. There we go. Just make sure that's all good. That's fine. Okay. So this package has been published, but so this is super simple. The way I did it was you just look up NuGet package C#. Super simple, quick start. Publish. There's a really good article that actually goes through a lot of the things. So I have a class library. We can get into the code in a second, but I have a class library. I have the package properties. I've done them myself, but a lot of things we want to actually go against GitHub. So I have a repository for this. It's linked on my profile. But I actually want to create a tag and have it build and test. As you see, I was running some errors, so I'm going to fix this, get it actually building and testing to NuGet. So every time I push with the tag of version XXX, it actually publishes to NuGet. So as you can see, I have one tag currently that's on a commit, and I don't have any releases because it's not actually working. We can go and create those releases. These releases are actually really cool in GitHub. So let's just generate the release notes. There's nothing really there because it's a version 1. And maybe we can go start it here, but let's go. Initial release. Yep, and that looks good. Don't need a period. Okay. So initial release C# library intended to be used for AI prompting that includes C# objects. So let's look at this code really quick. Let's go to SLNX. And if you guys aren't using Visual Studio 2026, highly recommend it. It's really good. It's a quality of life update for sure. VS Code, it feels much more like VS Code, which is really nice if people are kind of on that train. So let's look at just the couple big pieces here. So we have a markdown serializer that has a single method called serialize. And what we're attempting to do here is take in a single object with an object name, some random serializer options, and create a string representation of the object. So let's add, and for this one we've hard-coded max markdown header levels. That's just from knowledge I have. Then here's the options. You can include the null values, so either it's empty or it says property name null, or include empty collections. You say the thing, but then there's no items in it. But we can look at these tests. We did some assert tests. So if you look here, this is what an array looks like, named in 32. Dictionary. We can run these tests. Let's make sure they run. I don't know if I had finished updating them yet. I just coded this over the weekend and last week. There we go. So let's close this. What's going on? So empty string returns empty, verified. Yeah, so empty string is what the thing says. Use correct header levels. 3.14. Got a bunch of lists. Got empty strings. This is my little outline for the overview. Okay, let's run those again, and we'll make sure that those actually make sense. Looks like we're having some troubles with the empty strings. See, that looks better. Let's see here, and I think we're gonna keep getting a bunch of tests failing. Null test null. 42. And let's make sure those make sense actually. Structured prompts. What do you expect? Structured data to be null but found empty string. That is true. I changed that. Should be empty because basically we get at the end here string empty because it's always returning a string, not a nullable string. And then let's see here. What do we got here? Returns formatted markdown. Let's just make sure we get each test and they make sense. I'm just gonna make sure we're good. Okay, so go through some tests. Let's start with this one. What is this one look like here? Yeah, so we're still getting the N32. That's a property name as opposed to my array, so that's interesting. So let's figure out what's going on here. This is why we write tests. Very good. So we get in here object name, and this one is a IEnumerable index, so that's going to be there. That's the problem. We need to do the property name, and of course I have it to do, so that makes sense that this wasn't done yet. I think it's just property name. Yep. Make sure we're good with property name. Let's do that with dictionary. Yep, that's the same thing. Because I don't think I previously had it pulled down. And if it's otherwise, you just do the straight ding. Yep, okay. There we go. Should be succeeding now. If anyone has any questions, we're just going through doing some library coding, some NuGet. Ideally, we'll get it published. We'll show you that actual pipeline. So should be cool once we get through. And Davy's unofficial son says sideways face. What's the question there, Davies? You need anything? Okay, looks like that. So we can do these tests as we go. But let's move on to the actual part that we want to go for. So let's look at our actions. We have an add, build, and test. And what we're doing here is we're running in... Oh, I see. Hello, Davies. Welcome in. I was not aware of that. I am an internet illiterate, so there you go. And we're gonna pull up this project actually. Yeah. And we should have some workflows. And is that why? Did we not pull? Oh, I renamed this branch. This is no longer that. Let's get rid of. Okay, we'll have to redo these. Let's just undo. Yes. Let's make sure we're on the right remote. I thought it would do it for itself, but that's okay. Yeah, we can do those ourselves because I think it's actually. I was gonna say I thought I did this, but let's make sure because I was doing it on my laptop. Make sure that's done. Okay, that should be better. Shouldn't do that. There we go. Yep, there we go. Now we're looking good for our tests. Let's do a clean and build. And Davies, like I mentioned at the beginning, part of this trying to go against is finding the production, going from quick start stuff. So we're using this guide here, creating a publishing and going to what it actually would look like, right? So you have build actions and you do tagging for versions and all the different things. I'm learning along the way. I'm not sure why it's going to get C NuGet pack. Just run the tests. Yeah, let's see. Because we should be publishing or packing at least on builds. So let's just disable that for now. Yeah, let's not build that for now, just to get this running. There we go. Okay, yeah, looks like we got all 26 tests, and I think they look better actually. So there you go. What changes do we have? Just the CS proj and the one structured test. That's fine. Let's stage that, and we'll probably need to make a PR, but we need to do the actual action first. Let's do that. So go to Vault folder view, GitHub. Let's open this this workflow. Both of these up. So I wanted to add a check so that you couldn't do a PR without building and doing tests. So make sure you can't run tests on there. So that's here in the GitHub. Some simple things that I would recommend always is having checks in a protected branch. So here I have the default branch. Let's see, rule set. I have my release branch. So this is saying this is also against NuGet. So NuGet, I have my package set up that it can come from GitHub Actions if the environment is release. So release is targeting. I'm the repository admin. I can bypass it, but no one else could. Target branch is the default branch. That means they have the matching or criteria of the default. Can't delete it. Require linear history, so you need to merge in. All these things, which is nice. And I have my branch protection on, but where is that? Is that just here? Oh, it's here on the protection branch. Protected branches only. No, repository branch protection rule set all branches are still allowed to. Oh, I didn't hit save. Okay, so let's add a branch set. Rule set name for release branch. The bypass list is just repository admins, and I feel like I have this. Yeah, I thought I had this, but all good. We'll keep going. Require linear history. That's what I was saying earlier. Don't need a sign commit. Require a pull request. Let's just allow. Yeah, that's fine. Where goes one? And let's make sure there is status checks, and we have a status check, right? It's called build and test. That's the one, right? Yeah, build and test. Yep, build and test. So now we have build and test. Now let's boop, pop that over. Pull my authenticator up. Okay, there we go. So now that should be saved. Let's make sure we get that rule set. Okay, so we had it before. What am I doing? It was just disabled. Yeah, okay, that's what's going on. Targeting the default. Require status checks. Build and test. Okay. All right. Well, good way to show that I did it. So release branch, and then let's do a PR into it. Make sure we get the build and test. And what was going on with my build and test? Let's start debugging this. On the last run, on the build, could not find. And so that was part of the package. So we disabled that in our latest. Should be good to go now. So let's go get changes. Let's create a PR into here. I don't know. You know, try to be better. Ooh, let's try this. Does it do the correct commit style? Conventional commits. That is over verbose. Let's just do, tag it with a, yeah, sure. Removed to clean up, removed, updated to set to false, disabling, yep. Okay, let's pop open a PR, yep. We're doing a little bit of some NuGet library stuff. We are using this quick start. I'm going to throw this in the chat actually and pin this message. Pin that. Let's just do it for 10 minutes. Going over how to get this, but then implement some real things on it, because generally you want to tag it. You want to have things like your version tags, your releases in GitHub, so then people can, see your NuGet package and trust it that way. So this is the package. We're going to get a real release version. So, and let's actually, I just saw the README. Looks kind of wonky because I think I deleted a section. Yeah, that's fine for now. Let's just do. Okay, commit that, push it up, and then we still have a PR, that's fine. Yeah, let's do it. Sign myself. Let's do Yep, looks good. I guess technically we could have an issue, and then we assign the issue. That's fine. No, doesn't matter. Merge waiting for requirements to list. So that is great. So we'll see how it goes. Make sure it builds. It should build, should run the tests, and make sure all tests pass. So that's the first step. So we now get a check on the PR. So then your PRs aren't just approving willy-nilly. You know, you have some confidence that, look at that, total test run, all of them are great. Okay, perfect. Let's go back to our PR. So there you go. We now have, and you can do other things to require some checks, but for now that's going to be fine. I do prefer squash merges, just myself. That is the way I like to do Git history. But you know, people do how they want to do. So let's do that, and then there you go. I'm just gonna delete that branch. Okay, so now we've committed a new thing, and technically it's a new version because we have the README. Obviously, it's just a minor version, and we don't really have anything crazy changing, but that's fine. So let's see. And this is building and testing on main. So interesting. We don't want it to run build and test on main. We only want it to run NuGet publishing on the tag. So let's make sure that our action is the correct thing. On branches main, on pull request to main. So that's the problem. So we want to make sure, I mean, it's not bad that it builds, but like, it's not overly helpful because it's just gonna say that main is still worked. I mean, sure, that's fine. I don't want to do another don't want to do another PR, so we'll leave it as is for now. Get some water, and okay. So now let's work on getting a publish. So we have this simple publish. This is also from this from here. Let's see, where did they start going into it? Is it, I want to say they have another quick start guide that just gets you straight up publishing with maybe it was a video that they said that's linked. Either way, you can also do the .NET CLI. So technically I could publish a new version right now. Here with this, you know, this long thing, I have mine stored away. Obviously can't share it, but I want to get it so then I don't have to do that. I don't have to do individual goes. So let's see what happened last time I tried to publish with my pipeline, and we can go into the pipeline really quick and see what's going. So check out the code, setup.net, and it's a .NET 8 project, so there's that. You restore the dependencies, build a project, pack it, and push to NuGet with the secret NuGet API key. Okay, makes sense, simple enough. Basically just doing the version of CLI here in the GitHub action. So, right, .NET NuGet push the thing, .NET NuGet push the thing with the API key. Simple enough, right? Makes sense? Everyone makes sense? Okay. So, the last time I did it, the build step failed. I had to build the project and could not find part of the path. So this is the thing. So I think if we just go and go tag crazy, and we can actually just do it from here. Let's get a terminal. We'll just create a new tag. Yep, let's make sure. I think that's, yeah. But it should be on the new. Oh, I guess we probably need to go into main and then pull down because it will be off a different commit. Okay, so then I always forget the syntax. Create new. Okay, yeah, just name it. Okay. Oh, and I probably want to do in my project csproj, bump that number up because it won't do it automatically. I haven't set that up yet, but don't worry, we will. version. Find where it's reference 1.0. Interesting. Do I not actually have a version yet? Does it matter if it wasn't in here? I'm just not seeing it. Let's see. Version prefix. Yeah, let's take a look. Modify, yeah, so I thought it was going to be in there. Package version, I just didn't see it. I'm just blind, I guess. And I'm guessing I just don't have it. So let's throw it in there. And this is going to be version 1.0.1. And I guess technically I'd probably need to git commit on this one. I could also rename this current one because not really any changes, but yeah, is there a way? So I'm just gonna pull this aside. Okay, so what we'll do, you eventually do need to go back though. That's fine. Still, okay, yeah, we're still good. Let me see, just 1 second. Where? Okay, whatever. Where was I? Moving the commit, moving the commit. Yep, that's where I was. Moving the tag. So let's get the history pulled up. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Okay, and then yeah, I probably need to do this. At least what the AI is saying. There we go. And hasn't failed us yet. Let's do this. No, it did not like the way I did that. Nice. Okay, let's make sure that makes sense. Do I have GitHub desktop? No, I don't. Okay, let's just make sure on our side this all looks nice and clean now. One tag on the right commit looks like. Yep, nice. And there should be a release from the version 1. That's fine. On that commit, very nice. And yeah, because that was a push to main. What happened with build? Publish to NuGet. Failed again. Dang. Let's see. Publish to NuGet. Yeah. Could not find path home downloads. But why am I referencing home downloads? Oh. Yeah, that's not right. Dang it, Bobby. Alright, let's just force this commit. The logo. And let's just get push force, and then we'll do the same thing as previous. It actually worked pretty well. Let's view the commits again. View commit details. Let's get that commit ID. Let's get rid of this commit ID. Yep. And then let's get push origin. Oh, I need to delete it. Okay, let's make sure that all worked. Code, tags. Yeah, it looks like it's on the right commit now. Guess that's gonna be, yep, nice. Create a release from that. Do we not have a release anymore? Did it get removed? Yeah, we got one. Very nice. Fixes the local path, so let's make sure. Ugh, no, it doesn't exist, of course. Guess I can't just remove it. I probably just need to put it in the stupid repo, don't I? Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so include that. Let's just throw in. Make sure prompting. Assets. We'll go downloads. DAO codes library. I bet you it's on my computer. Not on my computer, actually. That's the one, though. Copy that into my assets folder. Let's rename it logo. Okay, so now put that in here. So now it's in. Okay, where's README? README is right at the main area. Okay. Yep, there we go. Now let's do push. Let's get that commit details. Okay, should be done here after this. There we go. All right, let's make sure it works. Add a logo. repo tags, releases. Let's refresh, make sure that we get that release down. Yep, nice. Okay. Actions, added logo, publish, build. Probably should rename that to be something else, but that could be done in a very further commit, because this should be called publish. Whatever, that's fine. Home runner still didn't work, huh? So what is going on? Oh, I lack brain cells sometimes. That's okay. I put it in a folder and then didn't explicitly change it to the folder. Folder path. Okay, well I'm gonna get really fast at this part, so there we go. Pull that over. Push the origin of deleting it. Oh. Deleted, and then we push the origin of the real tag. Yeah, there we go. And we can start cleaning up these actions a little bit. We don't need all these old ones. Delete workflow. Yeah, maybe we'll leave them. Have that. It's not costing me money. Okay, that looks better. No, that does not look better. The icon folder, and I renamed it so then it no longer exists in the NuGet package. Where is that? Is it in properties of this one? Bet you it is. So let's see. Package. Yep. That's what it is. Ah, dang it. Is that simple? Logo name. Okay, so we're making it. We're making it. Eventually. But that is the nature of GitHub Actions. It always takes more than you think to actually get it right. At least for me. I always have to fuss with it a little bit, do a bunch of init. Luckily, it doesn't take that long to run. Fix logo name, so we have a build and test, and we have a publish based on the tag. That's fine. This should be the same. Build and test should be succeeding every time. And we're just waiting on the action. So now what we should be seeing is, well, let's get rid of all this. What we should be seeing is we publish it on this change, and what I'm guessing is NuGet's going to fail because the package already exists. Yep, version already modified. So that's totally fine. So we now have a working version that has GitHub going through it. Done. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay. So that is going to be that. That's it. And we'll move on to the next part. This is really the simple part of NuGet libraries. Is you know, you have the things, and you publish them. So yeah, this repository is kind of done for now. And that failed because of that. That's great. Anything else we need to do? I don't think so.